Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here again. Okay, so this is part 2 about the interview with Trezell West and Jacqueline West about their 2 missing boys, Orrin and Orson West. They went missing on December 21st, 2020. So I already went through the security footage from the neighbors that live right next door to the West home. Pointed out a lot of things. Okay, this video goes with that video. So now I'm going to play and review and talk about the interview that these parents did. And I use parents, that term, very loosely. So this is on, I'm actually using the clip that I put on my video where I did my spirit box session. You can see here on the screen. We are 40 minutes and 32 seconds into the video. All the timestamps are in the description box of this video. So I hope that you'll bear with me because I have a lot of notes written down. I actually went through this interview and wrote down every word that these people said. Even the people that were standing off to the side, the news reporters, everybody. I did the transcription and it took me 2 days. I got cramps in my hand and everything. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to be watching my notes. I'm going to be watching the video and I'm going to be reading the transcripts from this interview. Okay, there's a couple things I want to point out before we start this video. I want you to pay attention to their body language. I mean, of course, the obvious. If you've already seen this video, you know that he stands there this entire interview with his hands tucked in his armpits. And the entire interview, Jacqueline is sitting here rocking back and forth. Okay, well, both of those body movements are a sign of self-soothing. Okay, so they're soothing themselves because of something is going on. Okay, it could be just because the kids are missing and they don't know where they are. Very well could be. But then you add in the other things that go along with just their body language. Okay, he blinks. Like flutter blinks when he's telling a lie. His shoulders will slightly raise. She will shake her head no on multiple occasions, and that means that she's not telling the truth. Okay, so those are just a few things to look out for. I want to pop this information in here real quick too. I found this interview or this article that was done, Scott Rouse did it, and it says 5 deception cues you can rely on. The question I'm asked most often is, how can I tell if someone is lying to me? People are fascinated with that information, and for good reason. Well, of course, especially in an interview of, parents saying that their children are missing. So I've put together a short list of 5 deception cues you can rely on. Okay, so it's important to keep in mind that there are no absolutes in body language, especially when it comes to deception detection. Having said that, know that this list is based on science and research, as well as the deception indicators most often seen out in the wild. Okay, number 1, not breaking eye contact. Most people are under the impression that a liar will break eye contact when they are answering a question about a questionable situation they are involved in. That is incorrect. The person who is being dishonest will most likely keep looking you right in the eye for 2 reasons. The first is because they know that you probably think liars break eye contact. The second is because they want to watch your face closely. If they see the slightest hint of doubt, they'll want to start adding qualifiers to reinforce their false statement in hopes you'll believe it. Number 2, not actually answering the question. It seems to make sense from a third person's perspective. If you're asked a question you don't want to answer, then don't answer it. So the deceptive person will answer with something that sounds close to the proper answer to the question, but it will be missing that key information you asked about. Okay, for example, when somebody asks, how did the police get a search warrant? And you answer with, well, I don't see why they did. We would have told them to take everything. We called them to help us. Okay. Number 3, invoking religion when answering the question. That wasn't relatable to this situation. Number 4, not using contractions when answering the question. This is one of my favorites. When a person uses contractions, they will say won't instead of will not. They will say didn't instead of did not. If you ask the person in question, did you take money out of my purse? And they answer with, no, I did not. They aren't using a contraction. If you ask the person in question, do you remember seeing the earrings sitting on my desk? And they answer with, no, I do not. Again, they aren't using a contraction. What's the problem with that? It sounds weird. If you asked me if I wanted to go to Arby's and I said, no, I do not, that would be weird. If you asked me if I was the one looking at Mitch's car earlier today and I said, no, that was not me, then you'd think for sure I was weird because nobody talks that way. Robots probably do, but not normal humans. I would say, no thanks, I ate Arby's yesterday. And no, that wasn't me. Did it look like me? My answers don't sound like I've been practicing them in my head without saying them out loud. That's very, very interesting information right there. Number 5, reverse yes and no head shake. I talked about this not long ago and showed Lance Armstrong in one of his depositions shaking his head no as he was lying, saying yes. He did the opposite of that as well when he shook his head yes while lying and saying no at the same time. This one you've really got to pay attention to because most of the time it isn't the person who is vigorously shaking their head yes while saying no. It's the person who is being still and saying yes while their head just ever so slightly shakes no. It's almost imperceivable sometimes. So you really have to be watching for it. Okay, so we have 5. This quick little list of 5 different things to look for when somebody is lying. 4 out of these 5 we will see during this interview with Trezell and Jacqueline West. We see that Trezell does not break eye contact quite often with the news reporter, that they don't actually answer the questions that they're being asked. The way that Trezell talks, I've pointed this out, he doesn't speak in complete sentences, and he never uses contractions. I mean, as I was going through writing down word for word what they said during this interview, that was one of the things that I noticed. He says, did not, do not, will not. Like, he never uses contractions. And the reverse, yes and no head shake. Jacqueline continuously does that. Whether she is speaking or whether Trezell is speaking, she continuously does that throughout this entire interview. So pay close attention for those 4 things. I love body language. It's such a big tell-all, you know, when you're watching something similar to this. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to those things. I also want you to pay attention to neither one of these people ever say Orrin or Orson. Through this entire video, they don't mention their children's names. They don't describe what they look like. They don't describe what they were wearing. They don't describe their body size, their height, their weight, nothing. The closest that we get is when Trezell said, I talked to a gentleman over there and asked him if he saw some little black kids. So we know they're black. That's it. That's all we know. Okay. Then they had dogs come in and search for their scent. Okay, they said that the dogs did find the scent inside the house, but not anywhere outside the house. Okay, so two problems with that. One, if the boys were outside playing on the back patio with chalk, wouldn't the dogs have picked up on their scent out back? Two, how in the hell do we know whose items they gave to the police for the dogs to smell? We don't know. They have 6 kids. They have 2 biological, 2 adopted, which is also, I want to point out, that's why we've heard Trezell say he has 4 children. There's been lots of rumors floating around saying, Trezell said back in July he only had 4 kids. Okay, he does have 4 kids. He has 2 biological, and then he has Orrin and Orson that they adopted. The other 2 children that they had were foster children. So those 2 children were not technically their children. So hopefully that clears that up. But there were 4 other children in the home that they could have taken any one of their shirts or pants or shoes or toothbrush or whatever and given it to the police for the dog to smell. And then of course the dog is going to pick up on that scent inside the home. I know that I've heard, I don't know for a fact because I personally have not seen the other 4 children. I've heard that they are all under the age of 10, and one of the foster children is very close in age to Orrin and Orson. So that would mean that their clothing size would be pretty close to the same also. So that's just a hunch. I just want to throw that out there. I have so many things that are going on in my mind. Whew, trying to get them all out, get them all, I try to write them all down on paper. I'm telling you what, I have this notebook almost completely full already. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started now. You ready? I babbled on enough, right? I'm telling you guys, I get going. I see squirrels all the time. Okay, here we go. Let's watch.
We just want to thank everyone in the community for all the support we've seen. We've felt so helpless.
Okay, I gotta stop right here. I need to correct this. On this video that I put, that they did this 12 days after the boys were reported missing, it wasn't 12, it was 2. So I accidentally put 12. My mistake, but I do want to correct that. It was 2 days after. So this was on December 23rd. And still to date, this is the only interview that these 2 parents have done in regards to their missing children. And they have not been spotted out anywhere searching for their 2 children. Okay, we're going to keep going. Now, and we're also going to keep in mind that we have already seen that security footage video, because there were a lot of things that I pointed out in that video on purpose, so that when we go through and we're watching this, we can call out the bullshit when we hear it. Okay? Now we know a whole lot of facts, right? Oh.
And seeing everybody out here really looking and helping out really means a lot.
So, tell us what happened the night the kids went missing.
Okay. From our yard.
We're going to stop right there already. Okay, so already, they have not focused on the boys. And the news reporter says, tell us about the night that the boys went missing. And Genius here says, from our yard. And then she just stops, like, er. But let's go back to the very beginning of this interview, okay? And Trezell tells Jacqueline to go ahead and start the interview. And she starts out with, we just want to thank everyone in the community for all the support we've seen. We felt so helpless, and seeing everyone out here really looking and helping out really means a lot. So we're making this all about you. No. But that's what she did. That's exactly what she just did. Then we go. They both sigh. And she says, from our yard. And then she looks away. What? I'm so confused. And then him. Why is he prepping? Like what? Why the dramatics? Because he's getting ready to tell a doozy of a lie. Let's listen.
It was cold. I was going to make a fire. So a lot of wood in this area right here next to our house. I opened up the back gate. I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house.
Throwing wood.
My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea.
Okay, wait. He said he was throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. He went in the house one time. And that's when the boys supposedly, allegedly, went missing. So he wasn't throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. And I also noticed, as I was doing this transcript here, he doesn't speak in complete sentences. He says, it was cold, period. I was going to make a fire, period. There's a lot of wood in this area right here next to our house. That was the most complete sentence that he made. I opened up the back gate, period. I'm throwing wood, period. Bringing it inside the house, period. My wife's inside, period. She was actually wrapping gifts. She was actually wrapping gifts? Why is actually thrown in there? She was actually wrapping gifts. Okay, now, watch him stutter over his words here.
They got our youngest to go outside, throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea. They got our youngest to go outside and play with chalk on the back side of the house.
Watch his shoulders.
My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea.
Shrug.
Got our youngest to go outside and play with chalk on the back patio. Do not let them go on the dirt in the backyard. We keep them close. They was playing with chalk.
Okay, so we do not let them go on the dirt in the backyard. We keep them close. Why would you say you don't let them go on the dirt? Okay, I know that this house used to be a grow house. Okay, they used to grow marijuana in that dirt yard in the back before the West purchased the home. So I don't know if that's why maybe he said that. We don't let them go on the dirt. Or because he followed it up with, we keep them close. So is he trying to give himself the Father of the Year award by saying we don't let him off of our little 8 by 8 foot concrete patio right outside the back door? I'm not for sure where he was going with that. Okay.
Dog outside and play with chalk on the back patio. Do not let them go on the dirt in the backyard. We keep them close. They was playing with chalk, and I came in the house. I saw them there. I went in the house. I came back out. I didn't see them now. I immediately went back in, asked my wife, did you see the boys? She said no. They should be outside playing with chalk. I said, well, I didn't see them, so I came back outside and I started searching my backyard.
Okay, we're going to stop there. Okay, so he says, so we thought it was a good idea that they, and then he's shrugging his shoulders the entire time. He pauses, that our youngest two go outside and play with chalk on the back patio. Do not let them go on the dirt in the backyard. We keep them close. So, was playing with chalk, and I came in the house. I have 17 pages of this nonsense. I saw them there. Go in the house. I came back out. And these are all, like, either, I don't even know how to describe this grammar. Go in the house, period. I came back out, period. I didn't see him now. I immediately went back in, asked my wife, and he never says Jackie. He never says her name. He always says my wife. Okay, I immediately went back in, asked my wife, did you see the boys? She said, no, they should be outside playing with chalk. I said, well, I didn't see them. So I came back outside and started searching my backyard. Now, if you don't think that that is scripted, I mean, seriously, are you going to tell word for word the conversation that you had with your spouse when your child goes missing? I'm so confused on the way that he's telling this story. Obviously, we know it's not true, because in his next sentence that he's getting ready to say right here is, I searched the whole thing. When and where did you do that, Trezell? Bullshit. Okay, let's play.
Searched the whole thing. I realized that I left the gate open, and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to show you.
Didn't see him, so I came back outside and I started searching my backyard. I searched the whole thing. I realized...
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to use my pen and my marker, or my cursor here this time. I just found out that my phone can do this. Yay me. Okay, so he says he searched the whole thing. He started searching his backyard and searched the whole thing. Okay, the camera that was recording that security footage was over this way. It was over in this direction, aiming this way. This is the gate right here, where he was standing the whole time. It was right here in this area. This is the patio right here, where the boys were supposedly playing. So if they would have ran out the gate when he was inside the house, they would have had to have gone through the yard and out this gate this way, which is what I was trying to explain in the last video with the overhead pictures. We would have seen them walk right through in this section here. Clearly. I mean, we saw the dog. We definitely would have seen the kids. The other thing is, this is a big-ass backyard. Okay? There's a door here, but then see this sidewalk right here? It leads to another door over here. That one porch light is over there, and the other porch light is right here, which is also what I was showing in the last video. Okay, so for him to search the whole thing, he would have, see this gap right here? in between the house and the fence, and then there's a gate right here. He didn't look there. He didn't go over in this gap on this side of the house. He didn't go back here behind the garage and the fence. He didn't go over here under the carport between the garage and the fence over this way. So exactly where did he search the whole thing? Because he didn't. Because he's a liar.
I left the gate open and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house, me and my wife. Once that didn't pan out.
Okay, now that part I do believe. Where, I mean, they did do that. It's not that I believe it, because we know that they weren't in there searching in the house, because the boys were never in the yard. But they did flip lights on for a few minutes inside the house. There were a whole lot of flickering of the porch lights. They flicked all of those lights multiple times, which all that did was prove to me that Jackie was in the house. That's it. And then there towards the end, I think that the garage light was on also. Okay, so that part of their statement here, that part they played out pretty well. And he said, search the house, me and my wife. Once that didn't pan out. Okay. And that's where I paused it. He's getting ready to say, I got in the van. Okay, well, we saw when he got in the van. He got in the van at 4:33 p.m. He entered the backyard at 4:12 p.m. So, I have a timeline. I can go through the timeline here from the security video after we finish this interview.
I got in the van. I looked down the street, both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold, and I got in the van and I hit a bunch of corners. I went down this street. I turned my light on. I searched. I called their names. Talked to a gentleman.
Okay, we're going to stop it right here because I want to discuss the part that he's getting ready to say, but then I want to discuss this part first. Okay, so he said, I got in the van. I looked down the street, which the only way he would have been able to look down the street is if he would have looked towards the house with the camera in it, because that's the way that the van was facing. Because he didn't look down the street the opposite direction. Right? Okay. He said it was getting dark, getting cold, and I got in the van, and I hit a bunch of corners. Okay, well, the part that bothers me about that is he said I hit. Unless that's normal terminology that he uses. Okay, he said I went down this street, I turned my light on. What light? Your headlights? Or did you have a light with you? I turned my light on. I searched. I called their names. And now he's getting ready to discuss where he talked to a gentleman on the street on the other side over there. He didn't see him. Okay, I want to show you that part. We're going to discuss this a little bit further detail.
On the street on the other side over there, it get cold, and I got in the van and I hit a bunch of corners. I went down this street. I turned my light on. I searched. I called their names. Talked to a gentleman on the street on the other side over there. He didn't see me. So then I came home.
Okay, wait a minute. So, two different things here. On the security camera, when he left his house is right here. He left the house, he went this way, and then he turned this way. Right? Okay. They're standing out in front of their house. To the left of them is their house. So their house is over in this in this area here, not on the picture, but their house is over to the left of them. And they're facing this direction. So when he just said, I talked to a gentleman over there, and nodded his head, leaned his head forward, he leaned it in this direction, like this. Because I'm trying to figure out the path. Like, what roads did he drive on in this neighborhood? Because we know when he came home, he drove down this road and came this way to come home. But how did he get here? That's my question. Okay, so he says, I spoke to a gentleman on that street on the other side over there. And he's standing right here facing this way, and he nods this way. Maybe this way, and then cuts around this way, and then cuts around, no. When he turned on the road, he turned from this direction here. Okay, so scratch that. So maybe he went down this road all the way down here. He went out of his driveway, down this way, up here, around this way, and then follows the road all the way down here, and then comes back up this way and this way. So where would he have talked to a gentleman on, unless he meant over in this area? I would like to know where this gentleman is that he claims that he spoke to. I haven't heard of anybody coming forward and saying, yes, you know, he stopped and spoke with me while he was driving around the neighborhood. But regardless, we know that he was just driving for shits and giggles, because we know that the boys were never in the backyard. Alright, let's continue on. I just really wanted to focus on that section for just a second, because I am still very curious. If you guys have heard of a gentleman coming forward and saying, yes, I spoke to this man looking for his children on December 21st, please let me know. And then down here in the corner, this is a clip from the security camera footage that we already watched. This was actually at 4:31 when he was getting ready to leave. And the front porch light is off, and the back porch light is on. Okay. Alright, let's watch the rest. Let's keep going here.
I went down this street. I turned my light on. I searched. I called their names. Talked to a gentleman on the street on the other side over there. He didn't see me. So then I came home and I told my wife we need to call the cops. It's getting dark and I need help. We gotta get going. So I called the cops.
Okay, now wait a minute. She's nodding her head yes this entire time, right? Like, yeah, good. You're sticking to the script. Good job. Yeah, babe. Good job. Okay, anyway. So he said that he talked to a gentleman over there. He didn't see him. So then I came home. Told my wife we need to call the cops. It's getting dark and I need help. We gotta get going. So I called the cops. Cops came. Okay. That part seems to be true. Then, okay, hold on. Let me play it before I talk about it.
Cops came. First thing they did was tell us to stay in the house so they can get a hold of us. And they had us just sitting there, and we wanted to keep searching. But
Whoa. The first thing they did was tell us to stay in the house so they can get a hold of us. bullshit. Because the first thing they did was they pulled up at the end of the driveway. The first squad car that pulled up at the end of the driveway. We can see him walk out to the car, and then we see her follow right behind him. It was a little bit more of a struggle to see her, but that's why I tried to put the slow motion clip in there to make it a little bit more clear, but it was still pretty difficult. But she was right there behind him, and the only way that we could tell that it was him and her was their height. The second person following the first person looked shorter. So they can get a hold of us, and they had us just sitting there, and we wanted to keep searching. He did keep searching. The squad car pulled up to the end of the driveway. They both walk out to it. They're out there for less than a minute, and then they both walk back up towards the house. She disappears. He gets in the van on the driver's side. So debunked that bullshit too. The driver's side door, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why he continues to get in on the passenger side. So he gets in the driver's side, shuts the door, pushes on the brake, turns the headlights on, pulls out of the driveway, and what does he do? Goes the exact same path that he did on his 6-minute search. He already searched that way. So why is he searching that way again? But he lied. Right here, he lied. He said the first thing that the cops did was to tell us to stay in the house. I mean, he's boasting himself up here the entire time. I searched the whole yard myself. You know, no. He missed a spot where he could be Father of the Year. You know, the police pulled up. We told him what was going on. I hopped back in my van and continued to search with the police. Because that's fact. But he lied instead. See a pattern? I'm going to skip back here so that we don't miss anything.
Everybody.
Because this part doesn't make
First thing they
sense.
did was tell us to stay in the house so they can get a hold of us. And they had us just sitting there, and we wanted to keep searching. But everybody came out in droves, and I wanted to thank you guys that night.
Okay, wait a minute. We wanted to keep searching, but everybody came out in droves. So that stopped you from searching? You wanted to keep searching, but everybody came out in droves. Okay. And I wanted to tell you that night. I wanted to thank you guys that night, but we couldn't go outside. I do understand that that is protocol. And this is, I believe I heard this on Duty Ron's channel. That if there are missing children, when the police first arrive, the first thing they're supposed to do is search the house. Okay, so that first squad car that pulled up, he didn't search the house. He started searching the 3 empty lots to the right side of the house first, which makes a lot of sense because the boys were out in the backyard, allegedly, when they were last seen. So he's doing what he thought was right, you know, that the children may be in that empty lot. Okay. But I guess that it's protocol when a child goes missing that they keep the parent or guardian close to somebody, just like in the Watts case. Okay, I hate to refer to this disgusting monster, but Trezell reminds me a whole lot of Christopher. So when the police got to the Watts house, there was an officer that was assigned to stay with Chris the entire time. And that was very beneficial because remember, as they were walking around the house, he found her cell phone. Oh, wow, look. He found her wedding ring. Oh, wow, look. Okay, well, if that police officer wouldn't have been with him, none of that would have been caught on camera. There wouldn't have been a witness to his reaction when he, quote, found those items. So the protocol is there is supposed to be a police officer with the parents or guardian of the missing child. Okay, so we're going to continue on.
But we couldn't go outside.
The cops told us the best are out here.
The best are out here searching. And we appreciate it. And nobody ever could tell, we could never talk to anybody. And that was the issue.
Okay, wait a minute. The best are out here searching. I mean, and see, it was like, he started to forget what he was supposed to say, so she steps in and she's like, hey, babe, you forgot. And then he's like, oh, yeah. This is, oh my gosh, this whole thing is so scripted, I'm sorry. Okay, so she says, the cops told us the best are out here. See, they're quoting people, and it's weird. So then he says, he repeats her, which happens a few times during this interview. He says, the best are out here searching, and we appreciate it, and nobody ever could tell. And then he corrects himself. We could never talk to anybody. And that was the issue. I'm going to leave that one alone because I believe what he's trying to say, and that was the issue. I think that he's trying to say we wanted to thank everybody, but we couldn't. Again, making it about them, not about the kids. Okay, let's keep going. Oops.
We just want to thank everybody.
We really want to thank you guys.
Please, if anybody has seen them, please call, let somebody know.
It called the cops. Call California.
Okay, wait a minute.
Please, if anybody.
And we appreciate
she
it.
Says,
and nobody ever
anybody,
could tell. We could never talk to anybody. And that was the issue.
We just want to thank everybody.
We really want to thank you guys.
Please, if anybody has seen them, please call, let somebody. Please call, let somebody. Please call, let somebody know.
It called the cops. Call California, the city police department. Call them and let them know what you've seen, if you see anything. Our boys.
If you see anything. They both said, if. It just struck me wrong, which I guess it makes sense, but the wording just hit me wrong. If anybody sees anything. Like, they know nobody's gonna see anything. They already know. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as I'm listening to their words. Okay, now this part hit a lot of people wrong that he's getting ready to say. Like, this is the first part that hit people wrong. I'm going to skip it back. And here we go. Prepare yourself.
Call the cops. Call California, the city police department. Call them and let them know what you've seen, if you see anything. Yeah. Our boys, they are going to be rambunctious, okay? They are going to be here.
Okay, wait a minute. Two statements that he just made there. They are going to be rambunctious. Yeah, I'm sure that a 3- and 4-year-old that have been outside all night long, actually 2 nights now, because this is Wednesday and it happened on Monday. They reported the kids missing on Monday. Okay, so 2 days later, these kids are going to be rambunctious. He's talking about his missing children, and the first thing that he says is they are going to be rambunctious. And then I don't know what the hell he did with his throat after he said it. Why? Why would rambunctious be the first word that pops out of your mouth about your 2 missing children. Why? I'll tell you why. But I'm not going to tell you yet, because he says it again. Oh, and the second thing he said, they are going to be around here. They are going to be here in this area. That's his whole sentence. They are going to be here in this area. Okay, so that tells me that they're nowhere near close to that area. Why? Because he's a liar. We're going to keep going, because this next part's great, too. I swear, it's like every sentence he says just, like, hits a nerve in me. And I'm like,
in this area. And I really would like to go in the houses, but it's not because I want to invade people's privacy. I just want to know if make sure. That's it. Because I don't... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. If you got...
Okay, he really wants to go in the houses. This MFer didn't even knock on the doors of these houses while he was standing outside waiting for 13 minutes for the police to show up. So now he wants to bring up that now he wants to look inside of people's houses, but not to invade people's privacy. We just want to make sure, and she helped him with that part. Again, helped him follow the script. But not one time did he go to a neighbor's house during that 6-minute drive or that 13-minute wait. He had 19 minutes to knock on some doors. Like, my neighbors would be coming out of their houses because they would hear me screaming my child's name. His neighbors didn't even know there was anything going on. Because there wasn't.
Questions? Oh, no, you're good.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, this is the first time we're hearing from you guys, and I can't imagine what you guys are going through. I can't even fathom it. For you guys, for people who are thinking that there's some kind of foul play involved, we just spoke to the biological mother. She says she had a conversation with you guys, and that she thinks there's some kind of foul play involved. She thinks you guys did something.
Wait a minute. Before we go to that part, did you notice when the news reporter said, I can't even imagine what you guys are going through? He drops his head down. That's the first time that he has shown emotion in this interview at all. He drops his head down and looks up like, oh shit, I forgot I'm supposed to be sad. Did you notice that? Let's go back. I'm telling you guys, so much of this hit me wrong.
You guys are going through, I can't even fathom it.
Head down.
For you guys, for people who are thinking that there's some kind of foul play involved, we just spoke to the biological mother. She says she had a conversation with you guys, and that she thinks there's some kind of foul play involved. That she thinks you guys did something.
And that's understandable.
What's your response to that?
Yes.
That's understandable. I would think the same thing.
He said the bio mom thinks that you guys did something foul. You were just accused of some type of foul play in your children's disappearance, and you shake your head yes, and you say that's understandable. I would think the same thing. No. If somebody tells me, hey, your kid is missing and I think that you did it, I think that you are involved in some type of foul play here, I'm going to say, oh, hell no, I'm not. That, no way. They never once deny. Not one time. They do not deny. Listen. Listen to their words. I
mean, that's exactly the point.
That's exactly what point.
Find our babies, then guess what? That's no.
What's your response to that?
That's understandable. I would think the same thing.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly the point. And if we can find our babies, then guess what? That's no. And that's all I want is to find our babies. That's it.
Okay. That's understandable. I would think the same thing. I mean, that's exactly the point. And if we can find our babies, coming from a man who is not searched at all. I mean, if we say that he searched, we'll give him 6 minutes. 6 minutes that he searched for his children. Strangers have gone way far and beyond searching for these children that they don't even know. This man that is supposed to be their father searched for 6 minutes because he knows they're not there. He knows where they are. And they're not in that area. Okay, so that's all they want, is to find our babies. That's it. And he talked to Ryan this morning and really wanted to tell her that he's completely sorry because they were in trust with her children. Okay, now listen to this, okay? This part coming up. Listen to this part coming up. Listen to his word salad. He starts going down one path and then he's like, and he goes down another path, and then he's, and he goes down another path. He never says a straight sentence or multiple sentences that make sense, that are on the same topic. He always, he's got so many things going on up in his mind, because Judge Judy says it the best. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, because it all just comes out naturally. But if you're telling a lie, that's when you start fumbling on your words, and you can't get it out because you're trying to remember all of those lies to make sure that you keep them straight. Those aren't her exact words, but that's, that's the gist of what she says. I love me some Judge Judy. So, that's what he's doing here. You can tell he has so many things that are just bzzing around inside of his head right now that he can't stay on point, because he's trying to make sure I cover all these things that I want to say. And you're getting ready to hear exactly my point on that. He covers so many multiple things in this section right here.
And I talked to her this morning, and I really wanted to tell her that I am completely sorry, because we were entrusted with her children, and they came to us, and they became our children. We named them, and they are our children, and so we want them back. So please, if y'all could get back on what you guys were.
Okay, wait a minute. He really wanted to apologize to her because they were in trust of her children, but her children came to them, and they named them, and they became their children, so they want them back, because they own them. They're theirs. They want them back. Okay, so that was the first, crazy path that he took, okay? And then he just said, so please, if y'all could get back on what you guys are doing. And then he starts fumbling over his shit again.
And they are our children, and so we want them back. So please, if y'all could get back on what you guys are doing. Wait
a minute. Wait. Sorry. One more thing. Did you notice she looked down when he said we want him back? I don't know what that means, but it's kind of like you know, she's looking ahead a lot of the time. But then when he says, we want him back, she looks down like, they're never coming back. Like, you know, she knows. They both know. Watch.
And they are our children, and so we want them back. So please, if y'all could get back on what you guys are doing, we should be able to get a hold of somebody. But they took all of our tech, so they wanted to, I guess, just rule us out, which makes sense. That's part of the investigation. So.
Okay. Another word salad section there. We should be able to get a hold of somebody, but they took all of our tech. So they wanted to, I guess, just rule us out, which makes sense. That's part of the investigation. So that's pretty much it. That's what he's getting ready to say. So that's pretty much it. There you have it. He went through that whole section, and he remembered to say he apologized to Ryan. They were her children, but now they belong to them, and they want them back. They want you guys to get back on what you're doing, the news crew. They should be able to get a hold of somebody. Oh, but wait, no, the police took all their tech, so they can't do that, which they do have their tech back now. Police Chief John Walker just said in the interview with Diane Wang that they did give back the phones to the adoptive parents. So they took all of our tech, so they wanted to, I guess, just rule them out. That's part of the investigation, and that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Have you guys, you talked to the police all last night?
Yes.
Hear her sigh? Yes.
What? So you guys willfully,
Yes.
have you guys, you talked to the police all last night?
Yes.
Like, ugh, it was ridiculous. We had the police in our house all night last night. It was such a bother. Such an intrusion. Yes. The police came in our house. Yes. I would be grateful. Yes, I talked to the police. Yes, they were in my house. Yes, they were out there looking for my children. Not this woman. And the news crew camera guy is the one that is zoomed in like this. This is not me doing this. He zoomed in on Trezell's hands all up in his pits.
What? So you guys willfully gave them your
Everything.
technology,
Yes.
the car.
Yes.
Did they get it? How did they get a search warrant? Did you
I
guys?
no
don't
idea.
see why they got one, but they got one. We
Yeah,
would
they
have let them
didn't
take
need one,
anything.
but-
We would have let them take everything. We let them come in and search with us. We asked them to come do that.
What did they take?
Just tech.
Okay, so that whole word salad there. First of all, yes. 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 We gave him everything. Then she says, how did they get a search warrant? They never answered how. They said, no idea. I don't know. I don't see why they got one, but they got one. We would have let them take anything. They didn't need one. We would have told them to take everything. We let them come in. We let them come in and search with us. We asked them to come and do that. Again, wanting that pat on the back, the Father of the Year award. We let them come in. We asked them to come in. We asked them to do that. What'd they take? Just tech. That's it. Like our phones. Which is not true. I know that they came into the home on the 21st. Then they came back on the 22nd, I believe. And at that point, they already had over 40 items of evidence. They just served their third search warrant yesterday. And they were in the backyard, majorly focused on that back gate. So I hope that they're getting their final pieces that they need before they arrest these jackasses. I hope and pray that an arrest is coming soon. And I think that it is, because Trezell and Jackie lawyered up. The police chief said that they requested for Trezell and Jackie to take a polygraph.
And that's it. Like our phones.
From the house now today.
Should have been out here the first day. Not right now.
Look, the news reporter said from the house, and he shakes his head yes, because the news reporter knows, no, they took bags, big, huge brown bags of evidence. I have a screenshot from the news crew being out there recording the police doing their warrant and walking out with huge brown bags of evidence that they removed from the home. So the news reporter lady knows that he's lying straight to her face right here. Now this is when the bio family starts saying what they think and asking their questions. It gets very emotional. I could not imagine. I think that they held their composure pretty well. I can't say that I would have reacted the same way that they were standing right there beside him. They've been pretty respectful this whole time. They haven't said anything. Now after they've heard all this, you know, that's how it played out. Oh no, he's getting ready to say that's how it played out. Now they're ready to chime in. Now they're ready to speak their piece. So, let's listen.
Oh, well, I guess, should I answer that? Or?
Answer it to us, yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I guess, I don't even know.
I see. Yeah, we seriously.
I don't know exactly what the question was because we couldn't hear what she was saying because that big truck that was driving by. So, but he says, should I answer that? And the news lady says, yes, answer it to us though. And he starts to talk and then he stops and sighs and, I don't even know how to answer that. So then Jackie chimes in and she tries to answer it. And I'm pretty sure it's about why they weren't searching. He doesn't know how to answer it because he hasn't prepared that lie. Other than placing blame on the police.
Like, we needed to be out here. We did. Again, we were told the best are out here looking.
You see that? Her head shaking no while she's talking. Again, we were told. Watch.
Yeah, we seriously felt like we needed to be out here. We did. Again, we were told the best are out here looking already. Just to stay put, they have more questions. There was literally a cop.
Why does she keep shaking her head no? I don't get it. Watch that again.
Again, we were told the best are out here looking already. Just to stay put, they have more questions. There was literally a cop
And she
with
shrugged.
us the whole time in there.
She shrugged her shoulder as she said that. Watch it one more time. This is so telling, I swear.
Best are out here looking already. Just to stay put, they have more questions. There was literally a cop with us the whole time in there.
He had sitting down. We would ask, can we go help? They had us sit down.
Said nope.
He said, no, we got the best out there.
So
we
it's
need
not.
you guys here in case we have more questions.
I don't want you guys thinking we
don't.
didn't try. We actually looked
tried.
before we called
We
the police.
looked, yes.
And I imagine the mind-boggling part is the search for information. What?
She sounds like she is more frustrated with the bio family than she is interested in finding her own family. Like, she is really ticked off at the bio family. And we're just starting to see it right here. She shows us way more of herself.
I imagine the mind-boggling part is the search for information. What happened? Where are they?
Yes.
Et cetera, et cetera.
And
and just so we are able to present the information correctly, at what time did you guys notice your kids went missing? And at what time were they reported missing to the police?
it's about, I think it was about 4:30, going on 5. It was getting dark, like I said.
5-ish.
5-ish.
Stick to the plan.
That's when everything played out.
It
And
played
then when
out.
did you guys call the police to report them missing?
After we searched
Yeah.
After
a
we,
little bit around here, it was dark, so we definitely we got worried.
after we, who's we? After we searched around here and she like motioned her hand like she went out and searched with him. She didn't leave the property. She barely left the house. That's about it. That's when everything played out. Famous words that will stick with this man for the rest of his life. Like, Trezell West will always be the man quoted with, "That's when everything played out." You realize that? I don't know if he realizes that or not.
Would you say it was maybe within an hour, a couple hours?
No, it was within minutes of us getting finished with our search.
Okay.
It was within minutes.
What do you guys want people?
Within minutes of us getting finished with our search. That was a fact. Did you see how easily that flew out of his mouth? He didn't have to stop and ponder it. He didn't have to think about all the lies that he had told. That was the truth. That was when they finished their search, their entire searching process. That's when they finished that fact.
People at home to understand about this situation. For them, you know, even speaking about what you guys are feeling is difficult. What do you want them at home to understand about this whole situation?
We're going through it. It's difficult.
And that is what Jackie West will be quoted with for the rest of her life. We're going through it. Going through what, Jackie? What exactly are you going through, honey? Explain it to us. Because when he said, "What do you want people to know about this?" I'm sure that it's difficult. Notice she used his word. It's difficult because she couldn't think of her own word. Because she doesn't know exactly what she is supposed to be feeling right now. Because this is all fake. So they're saying the feelings that they think they would be going through if this were for real happening. They're saying what they think people want to hear, in my opinion.
I mean, everybody's making their own their own conclusions. They don't know anything. We're not sure.
Wait, what?
Like everything, we're not sure. Their own their own conclusions. They don't know anything.
They don't know anything. They're making their own assumptions. Thank you, Trezell, for spitting that word out for her. She had too many things going on inside of her brain that she was trying to get out, that she's trying to keep straight, and she's pissed because the bio family is there. and they're making their own comments. Go bio family. She couldn't spit it out. She wasn't focused because she's trying to make sure that she sticks to the script. They don't know anything. We don't. Correction. We're not sure. Correction. Like everything, we're not sure. We said what we knew. Tripping all over herself, just like her hubby did just a few minutes before. She can't spit it out because there's too much going on in her brain that she's trying to keep the lie straight.
We're not sure like everything. We're not sure. We said what we knew, and if anybody has seen them or anything, please call the police.
You see her shaking her head no? If anybody has seen anything, shaking her head no. That tells you the answer right there. She doesn't believe herself. She knows the answer is going to be no to what she's saying. If anybody has seen anything, no. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to see anything because they don't know anything. She spelled it out for us right there.
Would you be willing to provide pictures, or do you have any?
I have older pictures. All my newest were on my phone.
Okay.
A lot of people are speaking of this as, after the math, past tense. I want to talk about your kids in present tense. What kind of boys are these? Tell us about the boys.
Very playful, very rambunctious, and they do love to wrestle. They do love to kind of get rough with each other.
Kids.
They're kids.
Okay, hold up. Now this goes beyond. I think this is the part of the interview that pissed me off more than anything else they said during this interview. Very playful, very rambunctious, and they do love to wrestle. They do love to kind of get rough with each other. Okay, so you know what he just told us right there? He just told us that these children are physically hurt. That they physically hurt these children. That's what he just told us. Mark my words. I guarantee I won't have to eat those words later. And that pisses me off to know, like, I can't even explain to you how pissed off this part makes me. You had the opportunity to boast about your children, about a 3 and 4-year-old toddler, and you chose to say that they are very playful, very rambunctious, which means they can't control them. And they do love to wrestle. They do. They do love to kind of get rough with each other. Like, that's the worst part of this whole thing.
Of course, they would love to go out, but so during the pandemic, we weren't trying to go, out here. And so we stayed inside.
So that right there was him explaining why none of the neighbors have any footage of any of the kids. He doesn't realize. Look at those eyes. Ooh, that's freaky. It's like he's staring right at me. Ooh, stop it. Okay, he doesn't realize that the neighbor next door had that camera that was aimed on their house enough that he could see the 4 boys getting in the van on the 19th when they went to Grandma's for vacation. There were only 4, not 6. He thought, see, that footage hadn't come out yet. He thought that if I say, you know, we weren't trying to go out during the pandemic, that he would get away with saying that. Nice try to cover that up.
Did you guys ever go out and
Those
search?
eyes.
Yes, we did. We searched before we called the cops.
That's
That
what
was
they told
that's
They
what we
almost
said.
yell at
Sometimes
him.
they come up missing. Did you guys ever go out and search?
Yes, we did. We searched before we called the cops.
That's
That
what
was
they told
that's what we
Yeah.
were saying.
What times they come up missing?
They came missing right before it got dark. And then we called. I searched that property. I even drove around the whole this neighborhood.
Okay, wait, right before it got dark. Now, they did plan that out pretty well. You know, they didn't do it in the morning, because then they would have hours of daylight for people to search and look around. So they did try to plan it to where it was right when it got dark. So then they would have approximately, 14 hours of darkness? Because the 21st was the shortest day of the year. Sunset was at 4:44 p.m., like I said in my last video, which also 4:44 is the angel number, which rips my heart out. I'm telling you, like, so they did plan that pretty well. 4:44, the sun goes down, and then the sun won't rise until the next morning. So actually it would be probably longer than that, maybe about 16 hours of darkness. So that was I'll give them credit, because they don't have brains, obviously. So that part, they did half-ass use their brain. Which it's good that they don't have brains, because that's how they're going to get busted. And that's how they're going to end up in prison for murder, in my opinion.
Right here. I even talked to a gentleman on that side, on those streets over there. I said, "Did you see some little black kids?"
And that way looking for them?
That's the way.
And see, that's the only time that he ever uses any type of descriptive word about his child, other than talking about how playful they are and how they love to wrestle and get rough with each other. Describing what they look like, that's the only thing that he says through this entire interview. That he asked a gentleman over on the road over there if he had seen some little black kids. That's the only description that we have from mom and dad.
Sure, I was going to come, but when I came back home, I decided to call the cops because it was dark. They couldn't have got away that fast.
And why did it take?
If they couldn't have got away that fast, then why in the hell did he hop in his van with a quickness and drive the opposite direction? Contradicting himself. Keep going. Keep going.
2 people to go in the house and leave 2 kids out here by themselves. It should have been 1 parent going in and 1 parent right here watching the child. Not 2 parents going in the house and leaving 2 little kids out here by themselves.
So you... What was he about to say? Was he about to get shitty with her? So you... I bet they wish he would have.
For 10 minutes.
No, they were in the backyard. And the back gate was
Listen to
open.
Jackie here in a
And
second.
the back gate was open, and I was getting wood
So
from
you
this
guys
lot
was
here.
being unresponsible and left the gate open, left some little kids outside with the gate open.
All right. Sorry. You guys were talking about your boys who you're, I understand. For a mother's intuition, I know you were saying, and we'll get your names after this, but you were saying how you feel like they're in this area. Do you feel the same way? And what is the intuition? What is the sense you get? What do you think happened to your boys? Do you think someone took them? Do you think they're lost? Do you think...
Yeah, definitely. I definitely know they're not walking around. They're not.
Okay, first of all, while the news reporter was asking those questions, Trezell was doing the flutter blinks. Like he's trying to erase what he saw. Yeah. Let that sink in for just a second, okay? Then Jackie Brains over here, she says, yeah, definitely. I definitely know they're not walking around. Again, I don't know how much more blunt they can be. They're saying everything to us to tell us that they hurt these children, other than the actual words, we hurt these children. I definitely know they're not walking around.
That kind. They do not just roam around. You know, these patches, they definitely, I think definitely would have been picked up or something.
Notice how she stopped and paused and thought about it before she said it. It was almost like she's trying to think of something else to say. And since the reporter just asked about, are they in this area? What do you think? Do you think somebody took them? She's trying to think back over what the reporter said. Just like with old Chrissy Poo, when they said, did Shanann hurt the girls? Chris was like, light bulb. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Shanann did it. So, I mean, she's doing the same thing. She's thinking about what the reporter said, and she's using his words. Just like when she said, it's difficult. We're going through it. It's difficult. Because the news reporter had just said, we know it's difficult.
That was my assumption.
Have they ever taken off of the yard before?
No.
They've never taken off?
No.
She is so shitty with the Bio family. Like it's their fault or something. Like it's the Bio family's fault that the children are not around right now. The Bio family has searched for your children way more than you have. The Bio family has shown way more concern about your children than you have. And you're getting shitty with them? The nerve of you.
You guys are new to Cal City, right?
Yep.
How long have you guys been living here?
3 months.
It's crazy because y'all say y'all came out looking for the kids and y'all got neighbors that say y'all ain't even came out looking for no kids.
The neighbors weren't out here.
We were looking.
We were looking.
The neighbors weren't out here. No, that's right. Your neighbors weren't out there in that 19-minute time frame. Okay, listen to this next part. I believe it's the next words that Jackie says.
I'm just saying, bro, it's crazy, bro. I got kids of my own.
Where do you live?
Them little boys that y'all.
Where do you live? What the hell does that matter to you, Jackie? Like, seriously. What does that matter? He said, I got kids of my own. And she says, where do you live? None of your damn business. On the corner of screw you and you're a liar.
My biological family.
I understand, bro.
I don't leave kids outside.
And I understand.
I have 9 kids.
4-year-old?
I have 9 kids.
But there's outside in the backyard
No
that
way
I
I'm
was
gonna
watching.
leave my kids.
9 kids. You go, mama. 9 kids. I have 2. And they make me want to lose my mind some days. 9 kids. That's amazing. That must be one amazing mama right there, right?
Unattended.
3
Not
and
even
4-year-old
for a
though.
minute.
Like, you sit here.
We get that. We get it.
They were in the
We feel
backyard.
it.
Don't even look like you worried,
But
bro.
you said the gate.
I've been.
See what I tell you? We feel it. She just said we feel it. What I tell you? They are saying things that they think they should feel. That they think we want to hear. Because they're not really going through it. Air quotes. Is it making sense to you guys? Please tell me you agree with me. Please tell me that, like, I'm making sense. I have reviewed this interview way too many times. I've watched their body language. I've listened to every word. I've written down every word that they've said. I have really invested myself a lot in this, trying to figure out something that can help somebody find these boys. I'm not in California, so I cannot physically go help. But I'll tell you what, I am working a lot on this information, on every little tidbit that pops out. That's why I made that logo for my channel. I want to take all these pieces and try to make a complete puzzle. I want to take all these little clues that are all over the place and help figure out where these boys are and get them justice. Orrin and Orson, or sincere and classic, deserve justice. We can help give them that justice. So, I'm going to say this right here real quick. YouTube does not like paranormal videos. They don't like true crime videos because they don't like what we talk about. So they will not suggest videos very often. And I have a double whammy. I have the true crime and the paranormal. So the chances of my videos being suggested are slim to none. If you can please, 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 please share my videos out. I want on every platform that you have available. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, email, text, messenger, DMs, like I don't care how you do it. Share my videos around so that we can get this information. If there's something that you heard me say in one of my videos that you've not heard before, or that made sense, or I described it to where, you know, it clicked with you, it resonated with you, and you think that other people should hear it, please share it around. There are still people that live close or in Cal City that have never heard about these missing boys. They have never heard about Orrin and Orson. So we need to share this even more. So please, don't just share my videos, but share every video that you watch about these boys. Please. Okay, let's get back to this. And thank you.
I've been going through it all day.
Y'all know y'all finna go inside the house, right?
Yeah.
Y'all are foster parents, right?
No,
okay,
we're
well,
adopted
y'all adopted them,
Yeah,
right?
they are
Okay,
children.
shut
There
the
are
gate.
children.
Go in the house. Why did it take both of y'all to go in the house and leave them outside by themselves?
I understand
And y'all
that.
know the gate was
Why
open.
haven't y'all been out with the people around this neighborhood looking with the kids?
We already told on
said
camera.
that.
I
We already
didn't see
told
y'all
on camera.
on no cameras last night. I
No.
didn't even see y'all out here praying with them people.
They didn't even come out to pray with people that were out there in front of their house. They sat inside their house while people stood out in front of their house praying for their children. Trezell just said they're our children. They couldn't even go out there and pray with those people.
Them people was supposed to take care of my nephew. Not supposed to happen.
I understand.
Y'all was supposed to take care of my nephew.
I understand.
So I found out that bio mom is Ryan Dean. She and both of the bio dads were out there. And that is what a family member of one of the bio dads said. She said that both of the bio dads were out there on this day. So let me go back. This man right here with this blue mask on his face and the dreads, he was the one that was talking first. He said that these are his biological family. SP is a channel that I've watched quite a bit of. I love her. She said that she thinks that he is one of the bio dads. This is Ryan. This is the bio mom. I'm not for sure how she is related. I don't know if she is related to one of the bio dads or if she's related to the bio mom. But she is the aunt.
If anybody's watching at home who knows anything, or if somebody who has these kids, if they're watching, what is your message to them?
The message has always been, as soon as possible, call the California City Police Department. And please bring our babies home. And that's that.
That's one of the reasons why we actually didn't want to do.
And that's that. Please bring our babies home. And that's that. Oh, Chrissy Poo also said, bring our babies, or bring my babies home. I just want my family home. I just want them home along that line. Chrissy Poo also never referred to any of his family by their names. Okay, so then Jackie here puts her hand up. You see that hand, right? This is why we didn't want to do this. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that, Jackie? Can you please explain to us why this is the reason why you didn't want to do a freaking interview and talk about your children on the news? To get the word out that your children are missing? Oh, that's right, because they're not really missing. I'm getting too fired up. I'm sorry. I usually don't. I'm not an angry person. I promise. I am not an angry person. But when it comes to children, it's a whole different ballgame. And when it comes to liars that hurt children,
the reason why. Because we were under orders to stay in the house and stay because they're going to need to contact us. And we cannot go outside, and that was the issue. We were under orders by the cops to stay home in the house and let the professionals look.
But you just said that they were your children. If they were your children, regardless of what somebody told you, wouldn't you want to go look for them?
Well, we have cops actually posted in the front door right there.
We totally understand. If you guys actually...
Okay, so there was a cop posted inside the door the night that they went missing. Okay. Where the hell were you yesterday? What the hell have you done today? Not a damn thing. So you can sit here and focus on the 21st all day long. What about the other 48 hours?
We have that question. You should ask the police officer.
The situation, but do you see how it seems that?
Yeah.
Ask the police. Ask the police why we weren't out searching yesterday.
Was left unattended. You guys went in the house, and then the kids disappeared. How did they disappear?
Exactly, and that's the way we try to figure out.
It doesn't make sense. How did they disappear? How did they go out? You guys had the house supervised already, and my question is, why were they the only two children out? Where were the rest of the kids?
The rest of the kids went with grandma.
With who?
They left. They went on vacation.
So they didn't?
No, because they're too young. We watched them, and it turns out that happened.
How did the...
We watched them, and it turns out that happened.
How did the...
We watched them, and it turns out that happened.
How did the...
We watched them, and it turns out that happened.
How did the...
You already know. Please tell me that you already know what I'm about to say. He says the rest of the kids were with grandma. With who? They left. They went on vacation. So they didn't? No, because they're too young. We didn't. We watched them. And it turns out that happened. Are you serious? Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to elaborate anymore on that.
Sorry, I know. Just really quickly before we forget, first and last name, spelling of both for both of you guys.
Exactly.
Said it again.
Just first and last name.
Spelling of who or what?
No emotion.
Your first and last name.
Our names.
Trezell West
Jacqueline
is
West.
Trezell West.
Okay, so that's basically the end of the clip. They spell out their names, and the news crew says, okay, guys, we'll let you go. And then you hear Jacqueline say, this is so, and then it cuts, the clip cuts. So I don't know what she said other than, this is just so. Or this is so. This is so. Anyway, so I'm sorry that this video is so freaking long. But like I said, I have spent a lot of time reviewing this video, reviewing this interview. There is just so many things that are wrong with this interview. If I missed anything, if something stood out to you that I didn't catch, please leave it in the comments. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think. If there's something that I said that, you know, that you agree with or you don't agree with. I love hearing other people's opinions. I love hearing other people's perspectives. So definitely share with me what you think. And again, sorry that this video was so long, but I had so much to say. See you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. Please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and ring my bell if you enjoy this type of content. Leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions that you have. I do read all comments. I need your help to fit the puzzle pieces together that we learned in this video. No bad vibes here, please. No drama. My channel is a safe place for all of you. Leave your thoughts about this puzzle below in the comments so that we can figure this out together. We discuss true crime and paranormal here. I'm bringing true crime stories and missing person cases to the spirits. I'm getting the spirits to help us find answers and hopefully solve questions we all have. So again, make sure that you're subscribed and ring my bell so that you don't miss my next video. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video or the thumbs down if you didn't. Share this video out on all of your social media so that we can spread the word about this case. And don't forget to read the description box. There's a lot of great info, including the link to the Spirit Seeker Squad Facebook group, and so much more. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.